2026 is shaping up to be one of the most disruptive transportation years the Seattle-Bellevue corridor has ever seen. Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I'm a transportation demand management specialist with the Bellevue Downtown Association, and I'm here to break down what the current transportation data shows us, discuss the biggest disruptors and their impacts, and what Bellevue residents, employees, and employers can do to utilize this moment to their advantage. Let's get started. To fully understand the city's current transportation landscape, we can start with what's going well. Bellevue remains one of the strongest job growth submarkets in the Pacific Northwest, with several companies expanding within and relocating to Bellevue. We've even seen a number of exciting new office developments downtown, including the recently opened The 8 and Amazon's nearly completed Bellevue 600 building. All this job growth means more people coming into the city, and currently the majority of them are driving alone. Because cars are a fairly inefficient way to move a lot of people, this results in worse traffic, making commutes longer for everyone, and placing an unnecessary burden on our transportation system. But I'm sure you are all no strangers to that. In fact, the average Seattle driver spent about 63 hours in traffic last year. I expect that number rose in 2025. The Washington State Department of Transportation, also known as WashDOT, has tools to measure car speeds on highways, and they found that motorists are going an average 14% slower on King County highways than they were in 2019, which was pre-pandemic. This may be surprising to many due to the increase of work from home since 2019. However, during that time, we also saw many people move out of city centers who now face longer commutes and spend more time on highways. The percentage of public transit commuters and other non-drive-alone modes has not recovered since 2019. The result is more people on the roads contributing to traffic and slowing down speeds. Again, while we've seen growth in public transit ridership, it has not kept up with the influx of workers and residents to our region, and it's yet to reach pre-pandemic levels. A big contributor to public transit ridership on the Eastside has been the opening of the 2 line, which now runs from downtown Redmond all the way to South Bellevue. The 2 line has actually surpassed initial ridership forecasts. This is largely driven by Redmond riders who work in Bellevue. The graph shows total boardings for 2025, where we see ridership more than double with the addition of just 2 new stations, over Lake Village and downtown Redmond. And when you look at boardings per station for 2025, Bellevue Downtown comes in first, followed by downtown Redmond. The next 2 stations seeing highest boardings are South Bellevue and Redmond Technology. However, light rail isn't solely responsible for increased public transit use on the east side. Buses primarily serving the east side show increased ridership compared to last year, a trend expected to increase as indicated by the bus routes added to the region in King County Metro's latest service change in fall of 2025. These new and altered peak routes can be seen on the graph on the right. The 2 routes with the most increased ridership are the 240 and the 271. The 240 is actually one of those revised routes. It goes from the Bellevue Transit Center to South Bellevue Station, that Eastgate Park and Ride, and then down to Newcastle and Renton. Meanwhile, the 271 is a consistently popular route that runs from University District across 520 to the Bellevue Transit Center, and then goes to Bellevue College and finally Issaquah. Now that we understand some of the larger trends at play, it's time to discuss the factors that will make a big splash in 2026. Sound Transit's Link Light Rail is expected to connect in spring of 2026. In the summer, Seattle will host the Globe for 6 games of an international soccer tournament. And while this last one won't garner the same celebrations, there will be some significant closures and lane reductions on I-5 and I-405 that will also be impactful in the coming year. WashDOT is completing some vital work to preserve the Ship Canal Bridge, where I-5 crosses Lake Union. The east side is inevitably impacted by this construction because both floating bridges intersect near this section of the interstate. While exact dates have yet to be announced, you can expect a common pattern. First, the entire Ship Canal Bridge will close from Friday night until Monday morning on a weekend to set up the work zone. Then, the bridge will be reduced to 2 lanes for several months. The construction will clear by June 8th in time for the soccer tournament, and then resume on July 10th, where the process begins again and continues until work is completed. The I-5 express lanes will remain open northbound this entire time, which may cause some delays for southbound travelers. We are advising everyone to plan ahead, explore alternative routes, and take public transit or carpool where possible to ease the traffic congestion that will be caused by this work. Stay connected with Connect Bellevue socials to stay in the know about exact closure dates, and you can also visit the Revive I-5 page on WashDOT's website for more information. From mid-June until early July, Seattle will host 6 games from teams around the world. They're expected to draw crowds of up to 750,000 fans spilling out into hotels across the region. All of this extra volume on our highways and on our transportation system is bound to cause some congestion, and it's great to plan ahead. While all this construction and traffic impacts can seem daunting, it's a relief to know that before the end of it, the light rail will connect Seattle to the Eastside. Sound Transit CEO Dow Constantine cited a date of May 31st for the opening across the I-90 bridge. As the first ever light rail on a floating bridge, this is quite the feat to celebrate. The true transformative impact of this connection is made apparent when you realize that nearly 90% of Bellevue's workers commute from outside of the city. There are twice as many Seattle residents working in Bellevue than there are Bellevue residents, so the plurality of the population will now have a direct train connection to their workplace. Outside of Seattle, it's incredible to see the connection this light rail will bring to Bellevue. Just in December of 2025, we saw 3 new stations open up in the south. When I first moved here, less than 10 years ago, the light rail only went from Capitol Hill to SeaTac, and we were celebrating the new University of Washington station. It's incredible to see all the stations that have opened since then, from Linwood to Federal Way, and from South Bellevue to downtown Redmond, even the T-Line starting up in Tacoma. Further connecting our city to the broader region is the fact that the Bellevue Transit Center is located just across the street from the Bellevue Downtown Light Rail Station and connects to all of the listed cities. With the coming bus-only lanes on 405, some of these lanes are going to get even more frequent and reliable, addressing some primary concerns that commuters have about taking transit. 2026 will truly be a defining moment for mobility in the Seattle-Bellevue region, with congestion trending upward, major construction impacting key corridors, and tens of thousands of new workers and residents moving through growing Eastside hubs. The way people travel is changing rapidly. At the same time, the opening of new light rail segments and the rise in transit ridership show that the region is finally gaining reliable alternatives to driving. For employers, this is a strategic decision point. Supporting staff with tools like ORCA Business Passport isn't just a quality of life improvement, it's a competitive advantage. Businesses that make transit easy strengthen hiring and retention, reduce pressure on parking and office infrastructure, and demonstrate responsiveness to a changing region. This moment matters just as much for individuals and households. With driving becoming slower and less predictable, transit offers a clear path to reducing commute stress, saving money, and gaining back personal time normally lost behind the wheel. Light rail, frequent bus service, walkable station areas, and safer bike connections give people more freedom to choose the commute that best fits their lives. Even those who don't commute daily benefit from more reliable options for errands, appointments, social activities, and weekend trips. Whether you're an employer planning for your team or an individual navigating your own commute, now is the time to explore transit options, understand how the region is changing, and choose the benefits and travel patterns that will set you up for a smoother, less stressful future. That's where tools like the ORCA business programs come in. For companies on the East Side, offering transit via ORCA Business Passport isn't just good for employees, it may soon be essential for business resilience and attractiveness. Through options like ORCA Business Passport or ORCA Business Choice, employers can offer unlimited or flexible transit coverage across 7 agencies and 4 counties, including buses, light rail, sounder trains, streetcar, and regional ferries. To learn how to get started, reach out to us at Connect Bellevue, and we can provide you a cost estimate and walk you through the available programs. And if you're an employee who wants to let their employer know about this program, we can even contact them on your behalf. As the region continues to grow and as jobs, housing, and daily life cluster around transit corridors, both residents and employers will feel the effects of this shift. The communities that thrive will be the ones that embrace these changes early, adapt their habits and benefits accordingly, and take full advantage of the mobility network expanding across the East Side. Here at Connect Bellevue, we strive to make sustainable transportation a viable option for all travelers in Bellevue, be it residents, workers, or visitors. To learn more or get started, follow us on social media, shoot us an email, or visit our website. Happy traveling!